I don't know if I've told this to you guys ever, but all I really want to do is be a fairy. She was a fairy. Yep, yep, she was a fairy. Yep, yep, she was a fairy. Anyways, I just want to be a fairy, and sometimes I do my makeup like I'm a fairy. I would be a green fairy. I would be a green witch fairy, to be clear. Like all of those things have to be attached. By the way, my outfit is this, but it's so cold in the office that I have to have the jacket on. But I do want you guys to see that the fit was fitting. I'm just cold. I am just simply cold and I have like no other options but to be in this. So that is what we got going on today. It is 8, 8:30. 8:30. It's better than my 9 recordings. And the good thing is that it's the spring about to be summertime, so it's actually still light outside. That's great. But as you can tell, my voice is still MIA. It's still it's still not here. I don't know what you guys want from me. I'm trying. I really am trying the best that I can. Legitimately, I don't know what else I could do outside of buying that machine that I told you guys I thought about buying and treating my voice like I'm a singer at this point because I don't know how to bring it back. But then my mom goes, "I see you have your sexy voice on." And I was like, "I wish that it was just like that." Yes, yes, I turned on my sexy voice. No, unfortunately, this is just my new vibe. But let's get into the episode. We have so much to talk about. We are going to get caught up with Cheetah Girls 4. We're getting Ariana Grande's new song, Taylor updates, Law Roach's next project. And we're going to be catching up on Criminal Minds season 6, The Rookie, which I finally started watching, which is the most recent season. And then we're finally going to get to the Hayden Panettiere, Jay Shetty interview. So let's go. My computer is struggling so hard with this OBS system running, and I have every single thing in my all of it deleted. Um, empty my trash, see if that helps, but I don't imagine it would. I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys, but let's get into it. Hey, Unbothered fam, and welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped, where I don't have my voice. But really, we're back, we're here, we're enjoying it. Life updates. I have been processing some trauma that I am getting ready to share with you guys. I am planning it out. I'm thinking it's going to be a 2-part episode, just kind of knowing everything that I want to share. Um, I'm not going to talk about it now. I really want to wait till I'm at like the perfect moment in time to share it, and then I'll feel differently about it. Hopefully, that's kind of my goal. But I'm getting to a place where I'm ready to talk about it. It's not been easy. It definitely hasn't been easy. It's been a struggle, just kind of fighting, finding a way to name it, finding a way to explain what happened to me without I guess like one of my biggest concerns is I don't want to take away from anybody else's experience. Like that is not my goal at all. And so because of that, I wanted to be really careful with how I named my experience and how I described it so that it doesn't in fact take away from other people's experiences because that's just not what I'm here for and I'm just not interested in that. So hopefully that when I finally make the video, you guys will understand why. It's gonna be a really hard video for me to talk about. My body has been in shambles. You know, we talk about Taylor Frankie Paul and her sharing what her body looks like since she's been processing all this trauma and CPTSD. And like, I get it. I really want to do an Instagram and a social media post about like what my body looks like and what I've been using to help me like really get through this, magnesium has been my best friend. Magnesium, collagen, women's supplements, all of those things have been like my best friend. And I don't know, I'm just really excited for that to be the thing, I guess. Other than that, we just be chilling. We just be chilling, just trying to figure it out. Been working. I did start this group with me and my sister and her husband called The Creatives, and it is going to be an online, virtual, and in-person group that's going to be um located in Michigan and in Dallas. And I'm so excited for that. I've spent most of my time here in the office working on that and working on some new things, working on some things for the indie author bookstore. I just got new books for the indie author bookstore, and I'm really, really excited about that. And I have some events coming up, some book signing events. I have another beer with an indie author event coming up, and then I have a bookstore pop up. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out all of that and how to make it all work. It has been like exciting, but at the same time, I just want to keep the momentum going. And I'm not really finding as many places to do book signings after this first one that I thought I was going to. And it sucks. Sometimes it kind of is like, there we go. I was like, damn, I really wanted this to be like a thing. And not. It's just not a thing. And I don't I don't know how to make it a thing again. So we will see. But we're going to get on to our first topic, jumping right into it. Cheetah Girls 4. I'm going to let y'all let that sink in a little bit. Cheetah Girls 4 has been announced to be in the making. And how did I find out? I found out from Raven doing a TikTok about her. She has locks. She's like short locks, but she got like lock extensions on top of her locks. um, She was posting about her lock extension on top of her locks, and she said, getting ready. And he didn't know. I told my stylist what was happening, and he didn't know. And this is kind of what we're coming up with. And I was just loving it. So let's see. Cheetah Girls 4. I was also sharing with my coworkers recently my Cheetah Girls story, because what happened is that the big, big blackout that happened in like the Midwest and Canada or whatever was on a Thursday. And that Friday, Cheetah Girls was going to premiere. And I was freaking out for so many reasons, but I was like, Dad, and this is before you could record, this stuff. So even if the power went out, it might still record. This is before streaming services. Like, you had to watch the show like live. And I was freaking out. And luckily the power came back on right before Cheetah Girls came out, and I got to watch Cheetah Girls, and I was so happy and I was so geeked. And that is my little Cheetah Girls memory. All right, we have the 4th installment of beloved Cheetah Girls franchise is officially in development, with Raymond Simone attached to produce and star. The new movie reportedly focuses on the Cheetahs hosting a talent competition to discover a brand new girl group. That's kind of exciting. Production is heavily rumored to take place in Cape Town, South Africa. It says instead of competing themselves, the original Cheetah Girls are stepping into a mentorship role. They will host talent competition designed to launch a fresh new group of performers. Returning talent. This is what I've been interested about. Okay, so obviously you have Cheetah Girls 1, Cheetah Girls 2. Cheetah Girls 3 is done without Raven. I've never seen Cheetah Girls 3 because Raven was my girl. Raven, whether you liked her or not, she was the ambitious one. She was the one that got shit done. They would not have Cheetah Girls without Raven Simone or Galleria. I loved Galleria. But they would not have Cheetah Girls without her. Okay? And so watching Cheetah Girls 3 was not the option. But now all of them have grown up. And from what I know, all of them have a problem with the girl who played, hold on, I want to look this up. With the girl who played Aqua, which is Keely Williams. Last I heard, they all got beef with her. I don't know. You may know that Adrienne Bailey and Keely Williams were in 3LW together. And arguably the most successful person in 3LW was the person that they kicked out of 3LW, who was just doing her damn thing now. But they were in 3LW together. But now I think they have issues. She's reportedly had issues with Raven, and it's been crazy. So I was wondering if they were going to have Aqua back. But it says that Disney has not issued an official statement. Raven has confirmed to be on board, and Adrian Baleon and Sabrina Bryan, who play Dorinda and Chanel, are making teasers about them being back. Nothing about Aqua. I don't know if they're going to... If they did a Cheetah Girls without Raven Simone, they can do a Cheetah Girls without Kylie Williams. Keely? How the fuck do you say her name? Pronounce this shit for me. Keely. I've been saying it right. Keely Williams. I don't know. But I don't care. Like, she's, out of all the characters, I don't know. Chanel and Galleria were obviously like big fan favorite characters. I love Dorinda's character because she added a little like funk and pop into it. But if you look at like Keely Williams' character, she was just kind of judgmental and there. So I'm totally okay with her not being in it. But the fact that Cheetah Girls 4, everybody has their like Disney live action, musical thing that they had for different shows and different movies or whatever. Cheetah Girls was mine. Cheetah Girls was definitely mine. I love the story. I wanted to be a singer when I was that age. It was right around the time that I had actually went and auditioned for the children's Kids American Idol. And I love the vibe. I also love fashion, so I love what they were wearing. I thought that it was so cute. And I fucking cannot wait to have this back. I know that it's probably going to be years before I get this, and I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I will wait an eternity just to get to see this again. That is literally how important it is to me. But we'll see. I'll give you guys updates as we get more things. I really hope it's not like the Lizzie McGuire reboot where there was just a problem. But the fact that Raven has signed on as a producer makes me really excited because if it makes me feel like there'll be less problems. And I don't think that she would have signed on as a producer if she didn't have like the confidence of the other girls. So I'm so excited for this, and I cannot wait to see what like hits come out of this. I truly cannot wait. Speaking of hits, Ariana Grande has a new song. She has a new song, and it is called Hate That I Made You Love Me. I'm on the fence about it. The first time I listened to it, it's more sultry and kind of soulful. It is giving me like her vocals are actually kind of giving me like Hilary Duff vocals a little bit. What else? It is like she said, it is completely not what I expected from her at all. It feels like it's talking about like parasocial relationships, which I want to look into because I'm really interested in it. Made you love me lyrics. Oh, there we go. So like some of the lyrics is, I can't tell you why. Oh, okay. Thank you. I can't tell you why, but something inside is dancing with the fire. Eyes lit like the sky, turned tears into diamonds, got good at goodbyes. Just know that I'll find my way from you like a flower from a tomb when you decide who you are. And I can see right through like shadows on the moon, and it's all bad news. Then the chorus goes, yeah, I hate that I made you love me. Sorry if I made me your type. Yeah, I hate that I made you love me because I barely tried. Verse 2, what's happening now? You study my crown and borrowed my body, warm, kissed by the sun, then cold like the wind, a bee stuck in honey. Know that I'll find my way from you. I guess it's kind of cute how you like me where you are, but I can see right through. Just don't eclipse the moon because it's all bad news. And then it says, I've held your projections while you felt so insecure. Tell me why it's this way, why you hate to see women endure. Is it my fault you gave me your hearts of your own accord, I don't really think so. So it makes me think it's like of a parasocial relationship. And I'm a vibe and it's interesting. Someone has like double meaning behind Ariana Grande's. Yeah, they're just saying that like the same thing I did. It feels like it has a double meaning and it feels like it's about parasocial relationships and how people just get so pissed about women in general and like what she's doing and how every single time someone has let her down or has hurt her, she's found a way to like persevere and you're pissed. How can we help you here? And so, although the song, I don't know, it's growing on me. Maybe that's me. I'm not really good with new music at first. Some songs actually do take a while for them to like grow on me and for me to like them more and everything like that. So maybe when I listen to it more, I've listened to it twice already. Um, I will enjoy it a little bit more. I am going to watch the music video and tell you guys how I feel about it. But I wanted to just do the song and then do the music video in another episode. So the song is, I'm not saying the song is bad. Her voice is a lot deeper than we normally would hear her sing at. And it feels, it is an interesting thing about what Ariana Grande said about Glenda and Wicked. She said that when Glenda sings at her high notes, she's singing, to just try to be someone else or please someone that's not in her best self. When she sings her low notes, that's when she's truly being authentic to who she is. And so that's kind of how I feel about this. And I'm excited to see more. I'm interested why this is not like most people will come out with like a bopper as their first thing. Like, what's her name? Huda. Huda kind of came out with like a bopper for her first thing. And people were like, oh, we were expecting you to do this. And I'm just like, oh, you don't understand. Like the music game, the first thing you want people to do, especially when you're in that mixed genre, is kind of be hooked onto you. And so that's why I imagine that this happened. But Ariana Grande went a completely different way. And she said, I'm going to give you a taste of what this album is going to be like. And it's going to be me calling out shit. And I was like, okay. So hopefully it grows on me. It's not terrible. It's just not one of my favorites. I still like the song. All right. Let's get into some Taylor updates. Taylor's been tailoring. People been hating on Taylor. There's been interesting things. I just don't get it. Right? Everyone talks about how like everything's always about Taylor. It's Taylor's world. And it's like, you guys are making this all about Taylor. She's not making this all about Taylor. You guys are. And then you get mad. You say, oh, it's not fair. Why does everything have to be about Taylor? And it's like, you're doing it. She's living her life and you all are constantly commenting on what she's doing. Maybe you feel pressure because the people in your, here's my thing. Let me just be clear. Making a person responsible for the way that other people respond to you is a fucked situation because that person has no control. Even if it's their fans doing it, they don't have control over it. There's a gazillion of their fans who aren't doing it, but there are terrible people out there and they're not doing it. They're just doing it because they're terrible people out there and they need somebody to be terrible too. And it sucks. It really does. But like, is that Taylor's fault? Are we blaming Taylor because the people that follow her are mean girling you guys? Like that, at a certain point, it just becomes crazy. Like, we're blaming Taylor for shit that Dakota did. We're blaming Taylor because she didn't have the tools to handle the situation in the right way. We're blaming Taylor because people like her. We're blaming Taylor because her fans are defending her to you and saying bad things to you. It's not Taylor's fault. And making this all about Taylor is something that you guys are doing. You guys are creating the whole it's about Taylor kind of show. You're doing it. Stop getting mad at other people for doing it while you're doing it. And stop getting mad. Let me use Michaela's analogy. to help you guys figure out. Kayla's analogy was all about, why would you continue doing something if you know the result is going to be like this? Okay, Michaela, why are you continuing to attack Taylor when you know the outcome is going to be like this? Like, why are we doing it? If you know that the outcome is going to be like this, why do you keep attacking her? I legitimately don't fucking get it. You know how it's going to end up. You know what people are going to do and say. Why do we keep attacking her? Just let it go. Just let it go. Please. Because you're just going to get more hate. Like, you're feeding your own pain. Shut the fuck up. Legitimately. And not in a mean way. Like, I don't, like, you're like, oh, she said shut the fuck up. That's so mean. I mean it in the most, like, I'm just a blunt person. Shut up. I have to learn to shut up all the time. I make videos and post all the time, and I'm like, no, this isn't right. This isn't it. I'm not doing that. I have to learn to shut the fuck up too. So shut the fuck up too. The world could be a better place if we all learned how to STFU. Legitimately. All of us. Like, we don't need to engage in every drama. And then you say, I'm not going to engage in this drama. I'm going to protect my mental health. And then you go and engage in the drama again. Do you want to protect your mental health, or do you just want to feed the fire? Because the more you post, the more she's going to post, the more she posts, the more. It's a cycle. I want it to end. I was listening to Lawyer T. Definitely go follow Lawyer T on TikTok. I was listening to him and he was talking about Dakota filing more things. I did not have the attention span to give a fuck enough about Dakota. Dakota does the dumbest shit. He's always just doing shit so that he can be relevant, so that people can see him. He's like a kid, like, mommy, please look at me. Mother, look at me. Look what I'm doing. And you're just like, sir, grow up. Other than that, we learned that there's not going to be any new things in the season 5 of Secret Life of Mormon Wives. Guessing there's going to be more. They said that Taylor and Dakota have signed on. I don't know if that's true or not, because also they said that they weren't going to be focusing on the guys as much or focusing on Dakota as much. But then, I don't know, shit changed. They change their mind all the time. I'm not in charge of this. I just like it for it's entertainment. I think it's entertainment. I think it's real. I think it's fascinating. Jesse over here is still doing stuff with Marciano, and I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes you have to be like, I mean this truly as a person who's experienced so many different things in life. Sometimes you do actually just have to be messy. Sometimes you just have to live your life unapologetically, doing the wrong fucking thing at the wrong fucking time, because doing that is going to help you find yourself. Like, if you've lived your life so sheltered and shelled and put together and keeping everything inside, you have to let all that energy out. So you could believe whatever you want to believe, but if it's entertaining and fun and you're having fun with someone and that is what you need to help you get through it, fuck it. Who cares what anybody else has to say? Literally, fuck it. 2 tears in a bucket, fuck it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, she got a new house. I love that for her. Lawyer T was also talking about how it might be beneficial for her custody case. But I just love that energy. Like, I'm moving on. I'm doing things with my life, regardless of, what people are doing or what people are saying. I still have to survive. I understand that energy so much. And honestly, I've been really connecting with what Taylor has been posting about recently, especially with me going through everything that I've been going through. I've really, 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 really been connecting with that. And I don't want to let that go. I really don't. I don't want to let it go. It's been something that's really meaningful to me, and it's helped me. Watching her, navigate this has actually helped me find a way to navigate through my trauma and through my abuse and through the things that have happened to me, and how I'm not a perfect candidate for people to like. I'm not that person, and how I struggle with that. I struggle with that immensely. And so accepting that is going to be something that I'm working on. And, just happy about moving on and getting able to say my piece and realize that it doesn't always have to be like sunflowers and sunshines, and I don't have to be the perfect victim. I am, as I've always been, immensely complicated and immensely complex. And I have to learn how to love that part of me. And those are things that I'm working on. So my Finish the Taylor update is, whether you like her or not, she is helping so many people by sharing her story. And I just want to thank you, Taylor, for doing that, because you have helped me be able to find my voice and share my story really soon. So if you ever see this, thank you so, 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 so much. All right. Our next topic is Law Roach. So Law Roach is known for working with Zendaya, and he worked with Zendaya a long time. She said that he is the credit to why she can wear the most impossible heels, because he was like, this is going to be your thing. We're going to have to figure out how to make it work. This is it. And she was just like, okay, let's do this. And so he took a break from the game and now he's back. And with him being back, he has started designing for Ariana Grande as well. He is on Project Runway, which has announced that its new season is coming out. I can't wait. They have announced that the new season's coming out and they're going to have 22 contestants for the 22nd season. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for this. But he is also the, I don't want to say costume design, but I guess costume designer for Ariana Grande's new tour, because it's coming. I forgot that she was even going on tour, guys. I legitimately forgot that she was even going on tour, but the tour is coming. And so he is going to be designing her fits. And I love this. This makes me happy. I can't wait to see them, not in person, because the way that my budget is working, it's not in it. It's not in my budget. As much as I want it to be, it's just not in my budget. But I am very excited for that. All right, our catch-ups. I am still watching Criminal Minds. The reason why you guys haven't gotten updates is because I have not been doing a good job in binging it. I've been going through shit. As I keep telling you guys, I have been going through shit like really, really heavy. And sometimes it makes it really difficult for me to watch shows. And as much as I love Criminal Minds, sometimes it's just hard with everything else that I'm doing and making time for that too. But I am working on it. It is happening. I am about halfway through season 6. Season 6 is interesting. I'm really pissed about JJ not being there. I just need that to be clear. I did look it up. So before you all get in the comments and be like, she comes back, I know. I will ruin a movie for me. I will ruin a book for me. I will ruin anything for me for my sanity and peace. I just don't care. So I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay, she comes back. Good. I'm also happy that she comes back because people requested for her to come back. They're like, this is not it. Because now we have this new girl, and I like the actress that is the new girl. I just don't like this new character. I just don't think it fits. I just don't think that there's anything that goes in line with any of this. I'm just not here for it. But that's me. That's not have to be anybody else's thing or feelings or whatever, but that's my feelings. And so I'm really excited to get JJ back. There have been a lot of hard cases for me to watch. I can't remember all of them right now. I've been so inundated with stuff. But there have been some really hard cases for me to watch. And that really sucks for me. But the interesting thing, there was this one really cool episode, and that episode focused on Afro-Caribbean religions, which, as you guys know, I am Afro-Caribbean. Love it. I don't know much about Afro-Caribbean religions, although my uncle does. So like when we do Kwanzaa, it's part of like an Afro-Caribbean religion. It is rumored that my family does hoodoo, but there are different words for it in Afro-Caribbean culture that I don't remember what my mother told me. But just any representation that Afro-Caribbeans get, I truly fucking love it. I was driving today and someone had a USVI sticker on their their like car. And I was like, immediately sent a picture to my mom and like, we need to get this. And she's like, oh, I actually have some. And I'm like, you haven't given it to me. So we have problems. But honestly, Afro Caribbean representation, I love. And I know when people see me, they don't probably see Afro Caribbean. And I was not raised in the Afro Caribbean culture, but Afro Caribbean, I mean, not like that. Like my mom still represents Afro Caribbean culture. I still went to St. Thomas all the time. I didn't live there, is what I mean. Because the difference is really important to make. But I really love it, you know? There's Anya, who is on Project Runway. I don't remember what season she's on. And that was one of my favorite. She's not Afro-Caribbean per se, but she is Caribbean. And a lot of people don't get a lot of attention. And I realize that. Afro-Caribbean doesn't get as much, and I'm okay. Like, it's okay. I love the special sprinkles that it gets from there. Like, I really, truly love it. There's also an episode in Detroit, which is quite interesting because it related to Detroit firefighters, and my father was actually a Detroit firefighter for a good portion of my life, and so it was really exciting to get to see that. And the interaction they were talking about, Devil's Night, which I remember hearing from my father all the time about how difficult it was and how much he hated it, and people are destroying the city and everything like that. So it was really fascinating. I love shows that give me parts of me that I get to see in it, because I don't get to see a lot of parts of me, whether that's, you know, my African American side or my Afro Caribbean side or whatever other side. I don't always get to see a lot of parts and representations of me. So I really loved it. And the bad guy in that episode is one of my favorite African American male sci-fi actors. One of my favorites. He was in Agents of Shield. He was in Angel. He was in a couple other things. I fucking love him. So getting to see him kind of be this, and it was still like his face was like half burned or whatever. It could fit into my science fiction love, or it could just been a normal thing. So it was kind of perfect. Um, I'm at the point now where Prentice's dirty secrets are coming out. And so I'm like, huh, Prentice, what do we got going on over here? So I'm excited to kind of see that kind of flesh itself out some more, and you're learning more about Prentice. And I, she's not my favorite character, but I wish that she would be a little bit more open. But nobody is, you know, when they have skeletons in their closet, they're usually like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody about it, and fucking get it. I need you to understand, I really, truly, honestly fucking get it. Because I don't want to tell anybody about my skeletons either. But sometimes you have to. Whether you want to or not. Not only is it cathartic, it also can help you. And you can have people who have your back. And I'm always afraid of people having my back because I'm afraid that they're going to let me down. But sometimes you got to have people have your back. So I'm so excited about that. I have also started watching The Rookie. I love The Rookie, but I'm a binge girl. So, and it's solely because of my anxiety. I cannot watch this show episode by episode. There's no way. And how I started watching the show was literally binging it. So I'm already at a deficit here. But I started binging it. Yes, I know the last scene and how it ends. TikTok already showed me, which is how I can watch it, because I already know what to look for. And if it's going to be a cliffhanger, sure. But I've already known and I've already processed, and I'm in a good place about that. But so far it's interesting. I love seeing Chen and Bradford together again. I really do. Rookie is this show that is so action based, but is also really comforting at the same time. And I haven't really been into romances at all. And the like romance that they have going on in the show is just so wholesome and it feels so good. And so I really don't actually have a problem with it. And that makes me really happy in life, because I can enjoy something that I feel like has been stolen from me in certain places and pieces. And I love finding that out. I haven't even been reading romance books recently. It's just been so hard for me. So getting back to this place feels really good for my soul. Um, I'm in the episode where there's like the zombie things going on. I have seen previews of that. Yes, I know what happens to Lucy. Yes, I know. I know. So I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna grab a glass of wine and I'm gonna keep watching that. And then when I finish that, I'm gonna get back into um the binging of Criminal Minds. Sometimes I just need a break in between my binges. And the binges actually legitimately help me feel comfortable to watch shows that I need to catch up on. Like I need to catch up on Emily in Paris. I need to catch up on Ginny in Georgia. I need to catch up on XO Kitty. Like those things I need to catch up on. I don't know if I'm gonna do XO Kitty because of the love. But I might do Ginny in Georgia. But yeah, it just helps me get there. But now that we've gotten all of the things out, let's get into our main topic of the day. I have my notes, which is Hayden Panettiere's interview on the Jay Shetty podcast. If you don't know, Jay Shetty has a podcast. It's called On Purpose. I love the podcast. I think there are some really beautiful notes that you can get from the podcast. I've found one of the co-creators of Skims and Good America, and she is like an Afro British woman, and she very motivating, very inspiring. There's a lot of like motivation that you can find in it, and there's also a lot of healing that you can find in it. It's one of the things that I like to kind of input into my show, although my show is completely different from Jay Shetty's show. But I always wanted to kind of have that feeling in the end. Like you were like, oh, you learned something or you felt something. You were like, I feel more connected now. Like I want that to be in my show. I just want to meet people in a different way because the Hayden Panettiere was 2 hours long. And that's a long time for someone to be sitting. And that one is more interesting. But sometimes when you're sitting and you're listening to people talk about manifestation or metaphysics or anything like that, it can be overwhelming to consume all of that for some people. Like for me, I need a little bit of everything. I need a little bit of spice. That's why I eat snacks all the time instead of like real food. I need to shake it up or whatever. But Hayden Panettiere went on the podcast, and from this, she talked about her new book that's coming up. That is out right now. I am also listening to that because, like I said, guys, I'm doing a lot. I'm listening to that. I am reading The Last Contract of Isako, and I'm watching Criminal Minds while watching A Rookie, while still doing everything that I have to do, and I'm recording. People are like, how do you do all of this? There's another podcast I want to listen to, and it's Harry something's podcast. I can't remember, but Kel Lowry is on it. And she's been on a lot more podcasts, and I really like her, although her opinions lately I have not been feeling, but I do really like her. And so I want to hear some of her takes on some of these things on other people's podcasts. And I love it when podcasters go on other people's podcasts. But yeah, I love listening to other people's podcasts. That's how I learn more about like what I want my podcast to look like. I'm getting hot. That's how I learn more about what I want my podcast to look like, what, inspires me, what kind of gets me going. Like that helps me come up with ideas and creativeness. And when someone always tells you when you're trying to do something, you have to study that market. You really kind of have to be engaged in that market and know what's going on to really get it. So for me, I love listening to other people's podcasts and I hope to be covering all of them. But Jay Shetty's podcast is probably one of the things that really got me in podcasts. Jay Shetty's podcast and actually Kale Lowry's podcast with Lindsay Chrisley, which is Coffee Convos. But this one that we're talking about it was interesting. So obviously this is talking about the podcast, not all the information I got from the book. I just didn't know that Hayden Panettiere's life was like this. And that just goes to show that like, you just really don't know. And I mean, I remember following her career from I think the first thing I saw of her was Remember the Titans. And I remember it distinctly because that was me. I am the tomboy. Like, I love makeup and, but at the same time, hold on. At the same time, I'm dressed like this, right? Like, I'm cool and I'm comfortable and like those are my vibes. And it's taken me a long time to kind of figure out how that works with like my earthy stuff and everything like that. But I am fully getting there. And when she was on the I loved football and me and my dad were so close. And so like my relationship with my father, I felt like was mirrored in Remember the Titans. And so that was really important for me to get to see. And I kind of fell in love with her then. And then she was in a couple other things that I like. She was in Amanda Knox. Um, before Amanda Knox did her own story, which as you guys know, I did not finish. I don't know if you guys know that. I did not finish it. I just couldn't. It was just too her book and the TV show was just it was too much. But she's also was in Heroes and I loved Heroes. Again, I'm a sci-fi girly. I love sci-fi. Heroes was fucking awesome to me. Heroes was fucking awesome to me. I loved it so much. It made me so happy. And having her be the character, like I felt like, I could really connect with her. And her power was so cool. And, then I watched Nashville and I love Nashville. And her career was just so fascinating to me. And she was an actress that I really, truly loved. And then for me, she just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And I didn't keep up with the drama as much as you guys believe that I keep up with all of this drama and the pop culture stuff. Guys, most of the time, I'm truly and honestly sitting at home just binging TV. It's only when I look at like TikTok or Instagram sometimes do I get these nuggets, and because they're giving me things that they already think that I'm interested in, do I keep these topics going. But unless I'm prepping for an episode, I am not looking for drama. So I did not know about all this drama that she went on and she went through. And there's crazy things that happened. And I want to kind of get into it a little bit about it. So we're not going to talk about this in order, but we're just going to talk about things that came up. The first thing that came up that was really significant to me was Nashville mirroring her life. So she talks about how she loved the character of Juliet Barnes, but she started noticing that the writers were starting to kind of write her life, pieces of her life into the storyline. So if she went through something, all of a sudden her character went through something. And I'm like, that is not healthy. And then it got more unhealthy when she had a kid and they wrote the pregnancy into the storyline. And then they wrote her postpartum depression into the storyline. And so she talked about how like difficult that was for her, or even her struggling with alcohol abuse. She talked about how difficult that was for her because when you go to work sometimes, you go to escape. And when you go to work and they're literally just talking about your life there, how the fuck do you escape? Like, where do you go? You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anywhere to like land on or whatever. And so she talks about that, like that struggle of like, how do I fit in? Where am I going to land? Where can I be safe at? Really? Where can she feel safe? And I just think it's lazy writing. And, I was talking on the podcast that has Kayla Brandister in it. And I was talking about how I feel like that's when I stopped watching Nashville. And that is when her character just like, couldn't write with her character anymore because she went from being this like hurt girl who's, mommy did all these things to her, mommy didn't love her. And, she's acting out of from that place to a lot of her motivations just not making sense anymore. And this is one of the hard things that writers have to do when the show continues on is find new storylines for these people. It just didn't feel like her storyline connected with the character anymore. And it makes sense now because the storyline wasn't about the character. The storyline was about Hayden herself. And that's fucked. I can't imagine that. So when she said that, I was like, yo, that's kind of really fucking crazy. And then she also talked about going through postpartum and that she had been a Neutrogena girl or like, one of the people that they have all the time of this a sponsor, whatever, I can't think of the word, for like 10 years. And then she went on Michael and Kelly or something like that. and she unintentionally talked about her postpartum. And from that, Neutrogena dropped her as like a partner or whatever. And she had to fight some legal things because her agent was like, yo, that's illegal, which it is. That's fucking illegal. And it was for morality. And she was like, I was an addict. I was doing all these things. And this is what you're going to get. This is the morality that you guys are going to get me for. And I'm just like, yo, that's kind of fucked. That's kind of really fucked. And she has a point because it's like, there's no bad thing about having postpartum depression, even though back then, it was the thought that like, oh, you just want to drown your kid in the kitchen sink or something like that. And that's obviously not the case. And we know now that that's obviously not the case. But back then they didn't. And even though it could have been Neutrogena is a brand for women, and it could have been an opportunity to really reach out to women. They just didn't, because back then women issues were shut the fuck up and sit down and be quiet. And if you open up your mouth about things like that, it wasn't the case. And so that was really sad for me to have to like see and read or listen to, because that sucked. Then she got into her family and she was talking about her mom, and her mom has made despairing comments about her since the book has come out, or before the book came out, about how Hayden is just a user, and she's just trying to use, and she's just trying to gain attention from all of this. And it was really, it's hard as a kid to come out and say your truth about what happened in your childhood, because you feel like if you do so, you're immediately hurting your parents. And you're not trying to hurt your parents. You really aren't. Like, you're just trying to talk about what happened in your childhood. And not everything that happened in your childhood could be okay. And sometimes I feel like parents want that. And I get it. Like, there's such a big stipulation. And as parents, you feel shame and regret for all the things that have happened. But like, children also have to feel safe and free to be able to come out and say, this happened in my childhood and it really hurt me, because that silence hurts them more. Making them be silent about the things that happen in their life hurts them more. And in this episode, she talked about how she felt like, her family depended on her in some way. And she was like, I don't want to get it wrong. It's not like that we lived off my money. We didn't live off my money. We lived off my dad working and all of these things. Her dad was a firefighter. She was talking about, how that depended on her. And she felt like her mom really looked to her to be responsible, and that, to get the job and everything. And she felt like that her mom wouldn't have had love for her if she wasn't working. And I get that her mom is like, yo, that's kind of fucked for you to say. You're my kid. I would love you no matter what. Yes, absolutely, sure. But at the same time, a kid doesn't feel that way. Like, if you show them attention and love and care and appraisal when they're doing one thing, they're going to start to associate that one thing with love. And if that one thing is something that you have to earn, they're going to start to associate that I have to earn love, or I have to do this to be loved, or I have to do this to get complimented, instead of just getting complimented for being who they are, instead of being told that you love them for being who they are. And her mom might have done that, but like, this is Hayden's experience and she's allowed to have her experience. I don't think that her mom was a bad mom. I think that her mom was a mom of the times. And that's the hard part, is that it's always about like how they look. How did this make me look? How did this, everybody feel this way about me? It's always about that. And you just don't feel like you can say your piece. And I love that Hayden said her piece, and I love that she made it through, because that shit's just, it's not fair. She did talk about her brother passing. I believe that her brother committed suicide or overdosed. And I know that that was a hard time for her while she battled her own addictions. And she talks about that. She talks about battling her own addictions as well. But, she talked about her brother and how hard that was on her family and how hard that was for her to go through. And, just like he was a sweet soul and she just felt like he was so sensitive and he needed discipline. And I get that. People think that like I'm a free spirit. I do not want to be restrained by anything or anyone, but at the same time, I do need discipline. I would never get anything done without it. I've had to, luckily from the military, that is one of the things that I did learn from the military that was positive. I learned discipline. I learned how to sit down and make myself do the things that I need to do. And then I can operate like a tornado around everything else. So that was kind of, sad to talk about in here. Like tragedy in families is really sucky. And although me and my brother don't always have the best relationship, when I was younger, my brother was like my world. He was my favorite person. He's a year and 24 days younger than me. I made sure that he was taken care of at all times. Like that was so important to me. And our relationship was like we were twins, honestly. And I completely understand how Hayden felt about her brother, and she was, how they were soulmates and they were so close. Like, I truly, truly get it. So that was really sad to hear. She also talked about giving up her daughter and her addiction, and how a lot of people thought that it was something that was forced upon her. And even though it was a conversation that her and her child's father had, it was ultimately her decision and she made the choice. And every time that she was in rehab, she chose to be in rehab. She talked about how she was given drugs at an early age to fight through her anxiety and everything like that. And she just couldn't cope with a lot of things. So that's how she copes with it. Um, that was really sad to hear. I've never struggled through addiction. I've struggled through bad choices because she also talked about her abusive relationship that she had. I've struggled through being addicted to bad relationships and being addicted to trying to fix people, but I've never had an addiction to a substance. I've been so careful not to have an addiction to a substance. And I don't want to say like addiction's addiction. Some people can drink one lick of liquor and then become addicted. I don't have that in me, thankfully. I was really worried about it because I grew up in a abusive and alcoholic household, and that was really hard. I didn't want to drink at all because I was afraid that that was exactly how addiction. I was going to drink one time and I was going to become belligerent and angry and all these things. And that was just not my choice. But hearing about her addiction and her life and how she made the choice for her daughter to have her daughter stay where there was family and everything was secure and her daughter could be safe and there's stricter rules about paparazzi and everything where her baby's father stays at, and I want to look that up. He's Ukrainian, so he lives in the Ukraine. Um, and so she was talking about how that was a beautiful place for her to grow up, and her child's father, they both work really hard to still be in their daughter's life, and they cycle in and out because when one person goes on to do something, one person's there, and it was beautiful to hear that, we don't hear a lot of mothers talk about like, I wasn't the right person to raise my child. And we would shame mothers for saying that, right? We'd be like, you're a terrible mom. You're horrible. And that's sometimes motherhood is knowing that at that moment, you're not the right person. You're not in the right place. You're not the best person at that time to raise your child and ask for help. What would be worse is if you continue to try and you emotionally fucked up that kid. That would be worse. This is obviously better. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's really not. I laugh at awkward shit sometimes. But this is obviously better because this kid gets to feel loved. And she doesn't feel like she was abandoned by her mom. Her mom is still there. And her life still looks different. If the parent was separated, obviously we'd go to the mom. But sometimes the parents do go to the dad. And that doesn't mean there's like bad on the mom. It just means that whatever is the right parent to do it can do it. That's all. There's this idea of motherhood and it has to look and be one type of way. And fatherhood gets kind of the scapegoat on a lot of things. You get to make the rules of your life. You really, truly do. You get to make the rules of your life. And if that doesn't fall into how the rules of your life works, you can change them. You don't have to fall into this cycle of what people tell you that you have to do. And I think that that was an important thing. And I hope that moms hear that. Like, fuck it. Who cares if you're not the main parent? if it's not what works for you in that moment or what works for the kid, more importantly, in that moment, nothing else matters. The only thing that matters is doing what's best for the kid. Egos be damned. Other people be damned. Who gives a fuck what anyone else is going to say? That does not affect you. And getting to hear, Hayden really process that was fascinating. Um, I it immediately made me want to listen to the book. I am listening to the book right now. I'm about halfway through. I will be recapping that. There's so many things that I want to recap, but I will be recapping that. But I do recommend going to listen to her podcast episode. Yes, it is long. Listen to it on your drive home, to work, from work, and maybe doing laundry. It's worth it. It's worth it. And you learn so much about her and her life and what that really looks like. And we make assumptions that we know what goes on in these people's lives, but really fucking don't. And now it's good to just kind of get to see how that all looks and how that works out and then go from there. So I can't wait to finish the book and I can't wait to share with you guys. There's already been so much that's happened in this book and she did way more work than I knew that she did. And so it's been a fascinating audiobook to listen to. And I'm very excited that I have had the time to do it because my book stuff it's so much. It's so much. My life is so chaotic sometimes, but I am enjoying it. Let's see if I have anything. I wanted to start this new thing where I read you guys really stupid comments that people say to me, but I don't think any of my videos right now have warranted really stupid comments. So let's see. My video about my car, someone unplugging my car to charge has been the most viral video that I've gotten out. It also has gotten a lot of people being like, this is why I don't want an EV. And me and my mom were talking about this and we were so confused because who the fuck said that you wanted an EV? Who the fuck cares? Legitimately, I'm not going around being like, this is why my EV is better. I don't care. It's not my life to live. It's your life to live and live it on your own, make it happy. But there have been some wild comments. Let me see if I can find some of them from this video for you guys. That wouldn't happen with a gas car. Yeah, but you're paying. First of all, let me just clear this up. My car is a hybrid. The fact that you guys can look at this car and see that it's a fucking Jeep, right? Know that Jeeps don't even come on my comments if you don't know that Jeeps don't make full electric, they make hybrids. For a Wrangler, get the fuck on. So someone being like, that wouldn't happen to a gas car. I also don't have to pay as much for gas as you guys do because I have a hybrid plug-in. So gas is about $5 a gallon right now. Sure. Reason number 1623 why I would never buy an electric car. Again, who the fuck cares? Also, your gas can still get siphoned, so mind your business. But I think those are the most. I haven't really gotten a lot of my videos honestly haven't been doing much these days, so I haven't really gotten much disrespectful comments as I used to get. But people got opinions, and they love to share it with me. People got opinions, and they love to share it with me. Don't understand. Mind your fucking business. But that's all I got on. I'll try to get more for you guys. I'll try to make that a thing at the end where we'll just read some of the most outlandish comments that I received and we can all laugh together. But until then, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recap. We recapped a lot of shit today. So thank you for sticking around with me and I will see you guys next time. Please don't forget to follow me on Basically Unbothered on Instagram, Basically Unbothered on TikTok. And you also can find the podcast video version on Substack, which is going to be Basically Unbothered as well. Don't forget to review, share, go to my Instagram, follow, send me some love. I would appreciate it. Other than that, thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.